in our midst. Today on Wednesday, November 29th, we commemorate Saint Paramonus, Saint Philumenus, and their 370 companion martyrs in Bithynia. We also celebrate our righteous Father Nicholas, Archbishop of Thessaloniki, Saint Dionysios the Hieromartyr, Bishop of Corinth, and Saint Phaedrus the Martyr.
Regarding Saint Paramonus and his 370 companion martyrs in Bithynia, Saint Paramonus contested for piety's sake during the reign of Dionysios in the year 250. A ruler named Archbishop, seeking relief from a bodily malady, visited a certain therapeutic hot spring. He brought with him captive Christians from Nicomedia and commanded them to offer sacrifices in the temple of Isis. When they refused, he had them all slaughtered to the number of 370 persons. Saint Paramonus, beholding their murder, boldly cried out against such an act of ungodliness. When Archbishop heard this, he sent men to take the saint. Some smote him with spears, others pierced his tongue and body with sharp reeds until he died. Saint Philumenus' contest in martyrdom took place during the reign of Aurelian in the year 270. Coming from Laconia, he was conveying a load of wheat into Galatia when he was denounced as a Christian to Felix, governor of Ancyra. Nails were driven into his hands, feet, and head, and he was commanded to run. While running in the road, he fell and gave up his holy soul into the hands of God. Your martyrs, O Lord, in their courageous contest for you, received as the prize the crowns of incorruption and life from you, our mortal God. For since he possessed your strength, they cast down the tyrants and wholly destroyed the demon's strengthless presumption. O Christ God, by their prayers save our souls, since you are merciful. Enlisted by Christ through faith and through your fervent love, you cut down the ranks of all wicked enemies, and upon receiving the crowns of victory, O wise Paramonus and most godly Philumenus, you dwell now together with the angels' hosts. From St. Paul's first letter to Timothy. Timothy, my son, this charge I commit to you in accordance with the prophetic utterance which pointed to you, that inspired by them you may wage the good warfare, holding faith and good conscience. By rejecting conscience, certain persons have made shipwreck of their faith, among them Hymenaeus and Alexander, whom I have delivered to Satan, that they may learn not to blaspheme. So when he says delivered to Satan, he means that he prayed that they may learn, so that God remove his grace from them so that they may experience a little bit of spiritual warfare and come back to Christ. So this is when people will sometimes say, well, the end justifies the means, and so they will commit evil thinking that they are going to do good. And St. Paul is not for this. He is telling him to stand straight in spiritual warfare. Do not become a shipwreck. I desire that in every place the men should pray, lifting holy hands without anger or quarreling. Also that women should adorn themselves modestly and sensibly in seemly apparel, not with braided hair or gold or pearls or costly attire, but by good deeds as befits women who profess religion. Let a woman learn in silence with all submissiveness. I permit no woman to teach or to have authority over men. She is to keep silent. Now we have to remember that in this particular case of what St. Paul is talking about, he's not making a blatant statement for all women, which is sometimes attributed to this. Women are teachers in the faith. In fact, the very first martyr, Thecla, was a disciple of St. Paul. So St. Paul here is speaking specifically to this region, and he's telling them, don't allow women to dress like this. This is how the priestesses would dress, with the braided hair and all the adornments of the priests of Artemis. So he is asking them to dress modestly, the opposite of what the pagans were doing, to differentiate themselves from the pagan practices. And also to stop gossiping in church, to be silent and listen to prayers. For Adam was formed first, then Eve, and Adam was not deceived, but the woman was deceived and became a transgressor. Yet woman will be saved through bearing children, if she continues in faith and love and holiness with modesty. This again to show that motherhood is sacred. It is not to be denigrated and seen as something less than. Salvation coming through children is not because the pain of bearing children is somehow holy in and of itself, but children are the physical manifestation of prayers in our lives. They are holy. It is sacred. From the Gospel according to St. Luke. At that time, as Jesus was teaching the people in the temple and preaching the gospel, the chief priests and the scribes of the elders came up and said to him, "Tell us, by what authority you do these things? Or who it is that gave you this authority?" He answered them, "I will also ask you a question. Now tell me, was the baptism of John from heaven or from men?" And they discussed it with one another, saying, "If we say from heaven, he will say, 'Why did you not believe him?'" This is speaking about John the Baptist. And John the Baptist had told them to do their duties, to not try to seek riches from people, to have humility, to repent. "But if we say from men, all the people will stone us, for they are convinced that John was a prophet." So they answered that they did not know whence it was. Jesus said to them, "Neither will I tell you by what authority I do these things." So Jesus Christ is pointing out their hypocrisy. They are questioning Jesus because they want to maintain their power, their authority, and their riches. And Jesus Christ is preaching the exact opposite of this. And so they're trying to catch him in words. They're trying to stop him, but they can't.
I hope that you've enjoyed today's spiritual calisthenics. Have a blessed and wonderful day.